You are now a loyal follower of the Villain District Podcast.
Yeah. Are you playing Trivia Quack?
Oh no, I'm not playing Trivia Quack. I was gonna share with you gentlemen some funny tweets.
Well, let's talk about
that
Trivia
I found.
Quack.
Let's talk about Trivia Quack.
It's this.
Yeah.
It's this game where there's
I
this
think
little duck.
I
There's
think
this little
everyone
duck.
knows what that is.
You squeeze the duck. The duck turns blue
That's right.
as
Yeah.
if it were low on oxygen, and then it asks
Aw.
you questions about.
That's super sad.
That's sad.
Don't do that.
Well,
A
I didn't
little
make.
duck?
I didn't make it. I just play it. Trivia Quack. Everyone's
soon.
playing it.
Coming soon from Villain District Studios.
that's right.
Trivia Quack. Villain District Interactive is what that's
Yeah,
from.
I like
That's
it.
right. No, I was not playing Trivia Quack, which apparently is huge. I didn't
Yeah.
realize this.
Well, here's the thing.
Yeah.
You know, Ryan told you about it,
Yeah,
right? Because
mhm.
he was playing it.
Ryan.
Usually, Ryan, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Usually when that happens...
Well, Breeze told me about it, his brother-in-law.
Breeze, yeah, his brother-in-law. Normally when that happens, it's because of this weird
Right.
kind of
Yeah.
butterfly effect of... That's not the right...
Viral.
Yeah,
viral.
Viral networking.
It's not a
sort of,
butterfly
yeah.
effect. Did you
Right.
see that movie, Butterfly Effect?
I
No.
did. Ashton Kutcher. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
It's a good
Ashton.
movie.
It's been a
Yeah.
long time since I've seen it, but...
Yeah, that's when some little thing happens and then an earthquake happens.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. A little to an earthquake.
That's right. Yeah. So, this is the podcast, right? It's happening.
This is.
Okay, good.
Oh, what's happening?
Yeah.
Good. So I've been really into. We started off the last episode with that Vine, which was hilarious. Hey guys, I want to try it.
Let me try. Hey, watch this.
Hey, watch this.
Hey, I want to try.
That's too good.
Which apparently Tiff and Kelsey did not find funny
Yeah.
at all.
They didn't
Which
watch
is-
it enough times.
Exactly.
Well, see, and then that's what I told her. I said, you need to watch it at least 3 times in a
Yeah.
row. That's the joy of Vine.
Of
It's like
course.
this.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
a butterfly effect.
Yeah. You'll find it. You'll find
But
it.
she said, actually, it works the opposite for me. If I don't like it, the more times it plays, the more angry I get at
Well,
it.
maybe if it,
Okay.
just struck you in a really poor way, you
Yeah.
wouldn't want to watch it. But
Right.
I can't
Sure.
imagine.
But see,
being
that
the
Vine
case.
on
Yeah.
the surface, it's toilet humor, right?
Yeah,
It's potty
right.
humor.
Sure.
But that kid is a genius. It's
Yeah.
layered.
It's
Yep.
smart. Yeah,
Totally.
for sure.
Like, how many times have you made a fart sound on your arm and didn't think about what you were really doing?
This is going to be like an overarching theme
yeah,
to
for
every
the-
I think so.
podcast.
Well, we started off strong.
Yeah. That's true. That's true. So I've been really into, when I was thinking about funny things, I started thinking about this guy named Rob Delaney. Have you heard of him?
I've heard
yeah.
the name.
Rob
yeah.
Delaney. He's got a special on.
Yeah, follow
I
him
think.
on Twitter.
Yeah. Some of his tweets are just phenomenal. So I looked for some of them that were great. Let's see. You kind of have to hear a few to get into his style of humor,
Sure.
right?
Okay.
So one of them says, "I made a grumpy in my diaper." Frowny face.
Frowny face sets
Yeah.
it off.
Yeah, his use of like internet lingo is sort of what's best. The best Christmas present I got was my daughter saying "I love you, Daddy" through the Ouija board my parole officer gave me. What?
Yeah, that's
That's great.
super weird.
Let's see. Crazy to think the eyes you're reading this with will one day be ripped out of your head by a chimpanzee you thought you could trust. That is crazy to think. That's-
That one's reaching a little bit.
Yeah. My son thinks my wife's giant underpants are funny. Nice try, pal. Larry the cable guy is funny. Hashtag get her done. It's the ones I think I don't understand, and then I laugh.
Yeah,
those are the ones I
would
love.
like to see him.
The guy's a poet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'd like to see him deliver these like on stage or something.
Yeah. Here's a good one. I feel a deep connection to my Marine grandfather who was at Pearl Harbor now that I've lived through North Korea doing a scary about a movie.
It's the wording.
Oh, it is the wording. Oh,
I
here's
made a grumpy in my.
yeah. Here's one, Joe. You'll appreciate this. This is at Mark Hoppus. What are you gonna have for lunch today? A Blink 180 tuna sandwich? JK friend, just having fun on dash line. And then a little Santa face. Okay, anyway.
On dash line.
I just
having a little
yeah.
fun online.
Oh man.
Too good. He hashtags a lot of his Christian dads who vape. I didn't even know.
That's a big market.
It is, yeah.
So here's something for you, Will. Chris and I
Yeah.
just ate Chipotle,
That's right.
Yeah.
and when I moved here, there wasn't a Chipotle here.
You just say Chipotle. That's good.
Chipotle, yeah,
Yeah.
Chipotle.
Chipotle. Yeah.
But there wasn't a Chipotle here, and Tiff and I were on the internet once, and we were just surfing Chipotle Louisville, and we found out shortly after we moved here, they were building a Chipotle. Now we have like 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
said that to say, I eat it fairly regularly, and I'm sitting here with Chris, or sitting there at Chipotle with Chris, and he was sitting there, and he kind of had his eyes closed, and he was like just in the zone. Sure,
Yeah.
I'm fabricating a little bit.
Sure.
And he said, you'll appreciate this, because
Okay.
he didn't realize what he was saying.
Mm-hmm.
He
That
said,
makes me. Never mind. Go
Yeah.
ahead.
he said, do you ever just take a second to really just enjoy what you're eating and really savor each little flavor?
Yeah.
And I said, do you listen to the Nerdist?
Oh yeah.
And he
Yeah,
said,
that's true.
He said, no. I said, their whole thing is enjoy your burrito.
Enjoy your burrito.
He was eating a
Like,
burrito.
That's
Yeah.
funny.
And he was talking about savoring the moment and really taking, living in that moment, closing your eyes, shutting out everything else,
Yeah.
and enjoying that explosion of flavor in your
That's
mouth.
right.
Then I had the thought,
Yeah.
Chris Hardwick was talking about Chipotle in
Oh,
particular.
he was.
In particularly,
Mhm.
in particular.
In particularly.
Lee.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And
That's right.
I would just like to take a moment to really appreciate the craftsmanship of Chipotle burritos.
That's right.
Yeah. Good. They sent us a check or something? Or
No.
oh, okay. You just really wanted to do that.
We just paid fair price
That's
for our food.
That's
today.
really good. Yeah.
And
That's nice.
Yeah.
That's nice. I bet. Yeah. What happened was Chris Hardwick was like, I have what I'm sure he drove through Kentucky at some point. He's like, I wonder if they have. Like, I was looking for a burrito, but I wonder if they have like Chipotle there. And then Chris goes, "Do you ever just take a moment?"
That's right.
I bet it happened in that order.
I think it did.
Yeah.
Wait
What? I'm saying like one thing caused the other. Butterfly effect.
Oh.
Yeah. It's like a butterfly.
You're trying so hard to
Yeah.
tie that together.
I think it. No, I'm saying Ashton Kutcher did it for me. I was saying
Right.
one caused the other. Yeah.
that makes sense.
Yeah.
And
Now you know. Now you see.
One more thing. We're going to ride Chris really hard on this podcast because in episode 1, first of all, I hogged the mic. I know I did it.
Yeah.
And when I listen back to the podcast, apparently I speak funny.
Quit being an ant-hog is what I say.
Hey, you're
Right?
doing pretty good today, man.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
No, I mean like
Hogging?
yeah, you're
Yeah.
you're doing
I
real
can't-
good.
You're keeping it up.
Yeah.
I like to hear myself talk. I like the sound of my own voice. But whenever you did speak, Chris, in that podcast, you would kind of hover. You'd actually, this is what I think about it. And then we could go, and then I did this, and then I did that. And I'm like, I'm not going to try and fix that in the mix.
Yeah.
And then today, I'm just going to say, you better be eating that microphone, son.
Dude,
You-
it's
You're doing
tasty.
great.
Just let the listeners suffer
Yeah.
on episode 1.
Thanks.
That's what George Lucas said. Get it? All right.
That's awful.
That was great. Yeah. I thought it worked. There was a good connection. It was a butterfly effect for sure.
Chris, you haven't seen Star Wars yet, have you?
Wait, which one?
That means there's one you haven't seen at least.
True.
Okay.
That is true, but
Yeah.
We need to have one episode where we just force Chris to consume all of the stuff that we think he should
Yeah.
consume, and
I think so.
then he'll hold it against us the rest of our lives.
Or he'll change his ways.
Or,
Yeah,
for
sure.
Are you
I'm-
opening up your journal?
I'm flipping
Okay.
through my I don't know, my book that I
Do
write.
you have a good
things
word
in.
for us?
No, not right now.
Okay.
I'm just looking at something we might use in a little bit in this episode. So
yeah. So today,
no concern of yours.
so I'm sorry, I'm hogging again, but today we're gonna try something in the podcast, and it is called the Villain District Podcast, not because we just want to talk about the band, because I'm sure it's as boring for you guys as it is for us at times. It's not that boring for us.
No, it's great.
No.
It's great.
No, yeah.
You guys are
What's
guys
wrong with you?
You
Is
guys
our
just
question.
act bored on the internet. Okay, get with the times.
Yeah. Play trivia, crawl, duck, trivia, quack, Play that.
Yeah.
But we're gonna try something today. We're gonna do a focused a focused episode, and we're gonna call it what do you want to call it? Behind the tune. I like that.
Yeah, behind the tune.
That's not what we talked about.
Behind the song. Well, we talked about behind the song, but tune just kind of came to me.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Which one do you like, Chris? And which one do you like, first of all? But when you answer, make sure to talk into the microphone.
Behind the tune's fine.
Yeah. What do you think, Will?
I really like. I don't know. Either one's fine. Behind the tune's good.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's got a little stinger and
Behind the
zing.
tune. Yeah.
Behind the tune. And this is something I'd like to do somewhat regularly, especially as we release songs. But I'd also like to cover the other few that we've released so far in different episodes. But I'd like to work backwards and start with the most recent we've released, and that song's called Monster. But before we get to that, we have a word from your sponsor.
That's right.
What?
Yeah, Chris. Chris, go.
Tell them about the sponsor, Chris.
Well, today
Sell it.
we would like to thank Vent Coffee for their tasty warm beverages.
I like it.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I feel like I was supposed to say something very specific and I missed it.
I'm just trying
Whatever.
to rep. I'm just trying to rep the
You're
studio.
trying to pass the
studio.
torch. I appreciate
Yeah.
that. You're trying to- but
Yeah.
I don't know that
But
that's
I'm-
the way to do it.
Chris is like,
Maybe.
I'm glad you're trying to pass that to me, but
Yeah.
I don't know that I know what
Maybe
to
just
do with.
standard conversations.
yeah.
Fine.
Well, Joe, do
We're
you
so
wanna,
scripted.
Do you want to mention the?
Come to Butchertown
there
Pub
you go.
Studios,
Oh,
where you
right.
can sound like the pros. We've got microphones, we've got rooms, we've got preamps, and we have the two best engineers America's ever seen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true. Wait, who are they? Where are they today?
They're here. They're us.
Oh,
Chris
I see.
Duke,
Oh, I see what
Chris
you're doing.
Duke and Joe Stockton.
I see what
Total
you're doing.
butterfly effect.
Are you looking for a place to record your new album, Total Butterfly Effect?
Yeah.
Come to Butchertown Pub.
That's right.
Yeah.
If you're looking for a place to podcast, come on down to Butchertown Pub Studios, where you can sound like the pros.
I think that was the same rhyme, right?
I think it
was that
is.
the same one?
That one was a little different.
Oh, okay.
that
All right.
that one was for podcasts.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Yeah.
And not
It's a
for
specific market. So let's jump into this song. Can we do that?
Mhm.
Does that work?
I like it. Let's jump.
Let's jump right in.
Might as well jump.
Behind the tune. Behind the tune.
If you haven't seen it, excuse me. If you haven't seen it, it's available on Facebook.com/Villain District.
Here's the great thing about what
Isn't
you
that it?
just said.
What's the great thing?
You're such a product of our generation.
Uh-oh.
We're talking about a song, and you said if you haven't seen the song yet.
Yeah, you.
You got to see it to
Eyes
believe
are
it,
different
for
now
sure.
than they used to be.
No, but I will
Yeah.
say that the youth today, if they listen to a song,
Yeah.
or they wanted to hear a song, what we would either go to the record store to buy our CD,
Yeah.
or we would flip on the radio. But
Yeah.
the stuff that we listened to as kids, like, wasn't
was
on
never
the radio.
Not our radio.
Like, you weren't going to hear, like,
No.
MXPX
No.
on the radio in small town
You could hear
Kentucky.
Garth Brooks probably. Garth
Yep,
was on.
yep.
If you
I
were
mean,
into him.
I heard Savage Garden today.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
that's
he
for
did.
real.
Oh, that's good.
Oh, I'm behind the
yeah,
90.
that's
But
Yeah.
now, what the kids are doing, they're connected completely
Yeah.
with everything around them. They'll go to YouTube and they'll look for a song on YouTube because sometimes there are lyric videos,
That's right.
so they can know what they're singing. Not like lyrics are hard nowadays, but we have a music video for the song we're going to talk about, Monster.
Yeah.
It's on, I think, youtube.com/Villain District TV
I think so.
or something like
I
that.
think so.
right.
Yeah.
I think Villain District was taken. Like,
you know how to use a computer. If you look for Villain District Monster, you'll find it.
that's
yeah,
right.
it'll pop
Yeah,
up.
It'll come at you. For sure. So you should do that. If you haven't done that, pause the podcast, go listen to that and watch the video, and this will all make a lot more sense, I think.
Yep.
So,
Indeed.
Yeah. So what's the origin? What's the origin?
The origin of this song, a couple of years ago, Chris and I, we moved from Nashville, or away from Nashville, and set up camp actually in my parents' house for a little while before we moved here to kind of get back on our feet, because we were just out of the touring stage and we had no money, and my parents would probably want me to move back in now and just live there, like,
Yeah.
indefinitely.
Yeah.
But we had a little studio set up there, and we'd go every day, for like an hour a day, and we'd just jam hard, jam any idea we kind of came up with. And one day I came up with this riff, and the riff hasn't changed at all, which is cool. It's bum 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 like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That and I would play it on a Pog pedal, which drops the octave and then keeps the regular octave too.
Oh, okay.
So it was just the two of us playing. So it
Yeah.
was just this big, thick lead line.
Yeah.
And Chris was
Oh,
like,
yeah.
That's right.
I kind of remember that.
and it was
vaguely.
groovy, and
Yeah.
and that was the verse, that was everything.
Yeah.
And then it would come in with this chorus that was like different than it is now, but
Yeah, I forget.
Yeah.
hey, dun, dun,
Oh, yeah,
dun,
yeah, yeah.
Oh, right.
something like that.
Yeah. That's cool.
And it wasn't until we started this band, like, we kept going back to that riff over and over and over again because it was just so fun
Yeah,
to
it's
play.
a cool riff for
Yeah.
sure.
And then I guess you and I sat down here at the pub one day, and you brought some lyrics that you had, and
Yeah.
I had no idea what I wanted the song to be about. I had probably 5 or 6 words that I would just sing over and over on that chorus.
Yeah.
Something about paper, I think.
Huh. Okay.
Rip me apart like paper.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds right. I remember you playing that. I
Christian
think.
dads
I rem-
and vapor.
Yeah,
Thanks, Rob Delaney.
that's right. Yeah.
But you had this song started. Do you want
Yeah.
to talk about it?
Yeah, so I had the words to the chorus a while back, because when I was not, after I quit our band, I started doing folk music just by myself before it was cool. So let me say that. But,
Of course.
yeah, then it got cool, and then I didn't like it anymore.
Hey, nice glasses, Will.
Thanks. they're real. And so I had the verses of the chorus, but it was for like this folk song. It was I'm the monster. I'm the monster under your bed. I'm the one who goes where I'm led. All this kind of stuff. But it was
I'm
very
the monster under your bed.
yeah. But it was like
I don't know how the fuck
the folk song was like I'm the monster under your bed, do 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 do, and then it was just back and forth. Yeah, it was very yeah, my heart and soul. Yeah, it was like that, and
And then you bring in the washboard.
I come out in my overalls because I'm not really into gimmicks. I just want to present myself how I am. So just want to be authentic, so I come out in overalls.
I wish
and a
you would
straw
be
hat.
authentic to you were
That's right.
to who you were when you were like 12.
Wait,
Well,
who's that?
It was a
no.
little fat Kurt Cobain.
Oh,
Whoa. Let's not.
You lost a lot of weight. You look great. I'm heavier than you are now. But he had this hair that went down to his cheeks, and
That's
he didn't
true,
like
yeah.
how puffy it got, so he
No, it was
just
puffy,
shaved
dude.
up underneath
Yeah.
it.
Oh, yeah.
And sometimes he'd do the ponytail where it
The
was shaved.
undercut.
The undercut.
Yeah, that was. Yeah.
I wish that was you. I wish that's what you represented.
You know, the weird thing is we start making decisions before we should maybe start making decisions as people. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's-
We get a litlittle too much responsibility too early on in our lives.
Yeah, my hair was a little too much responsibility for me. I think at that point, so
There's too much. Yeah.
it was too much. I didn't know
like
how to
that.
wield that kind of power.
I like
so,
that.
No, I'm very
But,
happy
yeah.
with all my decisions.
are you?
Yeah, early on.
Let's talk about some of your old music decisions.
What?
Who you used to?
Yeah.
Who was your? When I was listening to
No,
the punk rock bands, what were
he
you listening?
doesn't. He doesn't like this series of questions.
there's no need. To.
What? Dude, we just talked about me shaving under my long hair when I was 12 years
Okay,
old.
Fine, whatever.
that's-
what was
yeah.
what was the age again?
I don't know, 12.
12.
What were you
Okay.
into?
At 12,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I asked for Creed's record for Christmas.
Okay.
Whatever, the one with the wax looking man on the front.
Oh yeah.
You know the one?
Yeah.
That one?
That was the one with like higher on it,
Yeah.
right?
Is there
Yeah.
Dude,
Yeah.
apparently
Yeah.
Scott Stapp's in a really bad place.
Yeah,
right now.
I heard about that actually.
like homeless bad.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which that's we can bring that up in another podcast.
Hmm.
But no, I remember when I first heard "What If" by Creed, and I'm like,
Oh, yeah.
that rocks.
Yeah, I remember that.
See,
What if I?
Yeah.
I always really liked Coat of Colors. Did you guys ever hear
I
that?
sort of remember
Was that
that.
the-
She wears
The coat of colors.
Yes. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember that. I had that CD. I don't
I
even
had
know.
this like
CD too.
confession time.
Yeah. Don't worry. Nobody will hear.
Yeah.
Nobody will hear
Thankfully,
them. Yeah.
we don't have a listenership yet.
No.
so,
No.
That's great.
yeah.
Yeah.
But
yes. So.
so we were sitting down with this song, Monster, and
Mhm.
Will and I had recently both read one of the newest runs in the new 52 Batman comic book, which is probably one of the best current hero books out right now.
I would say so. Yeah.
It's written
Yeah.
by Scott Snyder,
Mhm.
drawn by Greg Capullo.
Mhm.
But the way Scott Snyder wrote the Joker kind of could send chills down your spine.
Well, and we should say for
Coffee
anybody
burp.
for anybody who thinks they might ever read any stories in the sort of comic book Batman universe, we should just go ahead and give a big spoiler alert.
Yeah,
we're going to
spoiler
talk
alert.
about.
We're going to talk
We're gonna
about,
talk about
briefly talk about
So, Chris, spoilers, man.
Batman.
Earmuffs.
Yeah, earmuffs.
Batman Death of the Family,
Yeah.
not Death in the Family, which was a much earlier run. But so this Death of the Family starts off with it's
There you go. Take a look at that.
was it Harvey and Commissioner Gordon talking
Harvey Bullock.
what are they talking about? I don't want to read a lot of this,
Sure.
just a little bit. But they're back in the GCPD, and they're talking, and this lady comes up to Commissioner Gordon. She's like, Commissioner, we found these 20s in a hot spot in the Narrows. The iodine test was clean, though. You want me to order more analysis? No, don't bother. They're bleached and reprinted, blah, blah, blah. They're talking about these things. And then he's like, I can smell it on the bill. She's like, serious? He's like, no, blah, blah, blah. Then all of a sudden, zzz, the lights go out. Gordon goes, everyone be calm. Stay where you are. The generator should. Clunk. Lights are back on. And there we go. Is everyone all right? Gordon turns to look. Across the hall, or across the room, there's a figure in the doorway.
Yeah.
He's wearing like a maintenance suit. He's very tall, slender, and skinny, but you can't see his face.
Can't see his face.
Gordon goes.
Tension
with
builds.
a close-up, Gordon goes, No, not you. Zzzt. Lights are out. Hello, Gotham's finest. Now stop me if you've heard this one. A man walks into a bar. Everyone watch out. It's Joker. He's in the room. Joker? Joker's in here? Aw, what's the matter? You've heard it already? Okay, okay then. Let's try some new material. Joker, put your hands in. What? Where? Put your hands in. Hands in what? Anyway. All right. How about this one, Officer Bradtree? A clown walks into a bar. No, please stay away. You've heard it, eh? Crack. $20 bill on the table. There's a cop with a broken neck.
What?
So essentially,
Tough crowd, the old GCPD. Bradtree, no. Show yourself, you monster. Hee hee hee. Around a corner, a dark corner. All right, take 3. Officer Guadalupe. Is that right? Guadalupe?
I don't know.
A clown walks into a police station. Don't. What, you've heard this one too? Sigh. Crack. Another broken neck. Stop it. Gordon's starting to get pissed. He's got his gun held up in the air. I'm just trying to get a laugh, Jimbo. It's a classic, too. So many variations. A clown in a Hawaiian shirt knocks on a door. Hee hee. Or maybe a bat flies into a room, or even a clown walks into a police station looking for his face. Ha 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 ha. And it's important to realize at this point, we haven't seen the Joker in something like 17 issues. That's 17 months in comic book world.
Yeah.
And in one of the first issues of this new run, 17 months prior to this, the doll maker cut off Joker's face, and the Joker laughed about it.
That's right.
So he's back.
So you have this amazing, this scene where the Joker's been not in this story, and hopefully you know who the Joker is. I mean, not you particularly, but the listener,
at me, Will.
the listenership. Hopefully Chris knows who the Joker is, but
pull him out of the decks of cards every time I buy them.
And another,
you don't really use them,
right?
Yeah.
And another story, several years before this, the Joker actually wore a Hawaiian shirt, knocked on the door of Barbara Gordon, Commissioner Gordon's daughter. She opens the door. She's getting ready to retire, and he shoots her and paralyzes her.
Yep.
And that's a book called The Laughing Joke, right?
Killing Joke.
Stupid rookie mistake. So that was a reference there. So Snyder's really big on referencing the greats.
Oh yeah.
Fine.
Yep.
Just leave them alone. You hear me? Come for me. Leave them alone. That's Gordon. He is just first class.
Yeah. What a man.
Hee.
What a man.
Jimmy. All right. I know when my act is bombed. I missed you while I was gone, almost as much as I missed him. I'll be seeing him soon enough, though, and he does have my calling card. You're looking so well, though. Little Barbara, too. Don't say her name. That's his daughter.
Because you shot her before in that other book that we just talked about.
So healthy, both of you. But I admit, I'm disappointed in you too, Gordo. All the work you do to make Babs proud, and then you go and blow it. You hide things. Doesn't he hide things, Officer McCabe? Crack. Another broken neck. Get off me, you. Gordon says, no! Yes, Commish. Yes, you do hide things. Like that last pack of smokes, the one you hide in your apartment, in that final hiding spot where Barbara won't look, where no one will. Under your bed, in the wire netting. Sometimes I lie under there at night and listen to you sleep. The sad things you say. How I want to just reach my arms up and ha 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 creak blam blam. The next panel is Batman standing there with the lights on.
Yeah.
Jim, it's me. Where's the Joker? Joker's gone.
Yeah.
Tight. So that's the actual context to where the inspiration for Monster came from, right?
Yes. So that would have been Batman issue 13 or 14, something like that. But I already had this line about I'm the monster under your bed. And so it was like this folky song,
right.
And it had this like emotional tone to it, right? So it was like whatever I was saying, it was about.
Woe
like,
is me,
I've
I'm
never
a monster.
heard these emotional folk songs.
No, they're not. I know you're not into them, but
I
but
wouldn't.
yeah, but
Chris
so that,
loves the emotional folk songs. That's why it's funny.
so that was
Sensitive guy, man.
He is. He's
That's
very
true.
sensitive.
That's true.
Don't hurt my feelings.
All right.
He uses the extra sensitive shaving cream. He's so sensitive.
That's true. I
That's
do
right.
have sensitive skin.
But yeah, so the original sort of context for those were it was metaphorical, whatever it was. I wasn't talking about literally a monster under a bed, right? It was this sort of metaphorical way. But when we put it over this big nasty, like, rock groove, we started talking about it. We were like, well, the words fit. That's kind of cool. But, maybe it's not metaphorical in this cool, like, rock,
Right.
context. Maybe we're literally talking about a monster, right? And I don't. Do you remember exactly how we got to the Joker from there?
Yeah, well, we were sitting in there kind of riding on the song, and the chorus was working really well. And
Yeah.
I think we had recently read that issue, and I was like, dude, that is the Joker.
Yeah.
Like, he sits under Commissioner Gordon's bed at night and listens to him.
Yeah.
And the sad things he says, like, that's super creepy.
That is super
Yeah.
creepy. And I mean, this whole, granted, in hearing Joe read it, you didn't have the visuals, but I would suggest.
And
going
I
and reading it.
apologize for what I just did to that book.
That was.
It's so good, but
It's so good.
I
But you should go get it and read it if you're hearing this. And there's like it's this great. I mean, that whole scene of like they're in the police department, and you never see the Joker one time, but he's just going around killing people, breaking necks and stuff off camera, so to speak, or in the darkness.
it's all really dark and
Yeah. And so it just sets up this really horrifying. It's not the author Scott Snyder has a great way of writing him anyway, where it's like maybe he's sort of the devil. Maybe
he's crazy, but maybe he is just an absolute like demon.
Yeah,
of
like a
Right.
evil.
Yeah. Maybe he has powers you don't know about, but
Yeah.
it's always ambiguous. So it's
Yeah,
like
I mean, different people
probably
write him.
not, but
different
you
people
never
write
know.
him in different ways.
Yeah.
But that was such a strong and powerful character. We decided to kind of sculpt the rest of the song around that idea and that visual.
Yeah.
And that's where, for example, the line, the grin line. What is it?
Feel your skin tighten up. You can't help but grin.
Yeah, the world's
Yeah.
a punchline. I will die
laughing.
Isn't that a direct quote from The Killing Joke? Maybe.
It's heavily borrowed. I don't think it's a direct line, but I mean the whole point of The Killing Joke is in that they write the Joker as this. Alan Moore writes the Joker as this sort of nihilist character,
Okay.
where he sort of the whole point of the Joker is that the world is this absurd evil joke, and
Which is very Alan Moore anyway.
it's very
Did
Alan
you ever
Moore.
watch the Watchmen, the movie?
I did.
Remember
actually.
the comedian? Like that was kind of his whole thing.
Yeah,
Like,
that's true.
Yeah,
It's all just a big joke. So
Yeah,
that's why he
yeah.
was so terrible, because it was a joke anyway.
Yeah, why try to be good, or why try to do, why not just go around shooting Barbara Gordon, because, it's just all this cruel joke, so whatever. So that was, so that line was sort of heavily influenced by that. The world's a punchline, I will die laughing.
Mm-hmm. And then
Yeah.
Smile Like Death.
Yeah,
himself.
so, Smile Like Death himself, eyes like desperate screams. Just
Yeah.
That's just
It's-
fun visuals.
Yeah,
you
it's
know.
all just painting a picture of the Joker, really.
Yeah, and then that there's a line that says, "Tell yourself that noise you heard wasn't anything," which is like sort of horror movie-ish.
Right,
You
yeah.
hear something and you try to reassure yourself, but somebody's there.
And I want to say, whenever we were putting that song together, we were like, I mean, can we write a song like this? Like,
Yeah,
it's complete.
sure.
Like, it's just not something we had really done
Right.
before.
yeah, definitely.
Something that was a little bit more visceral, a little bit scarier.
Yeah,
And intentionally so.
absolutely.
It's not so much a big metaphor for something as it is kind of on the surface this scary thing.
Yeah, I mean, it's sort of like a horror movie.
Yeah.
You want
Right.
to see if you can sort of evoke those emotions, and obviously the song's not meant to literally scare people. That's but yeah, to try to invoke some of that stuff. And there's other references to this particular, like the Scott Snyder run that Joe was just reading from. So there's one line. The first line of the song actually is this the face that makes up all your bad dreams? and then it says, "I'm the one you hope to God isn't what he seems." So there's this part in that book where Bruce Wayne or Batman, whatever, is talking about the Joker, and he's talking to himself, and he's saying, "Look, just understand that this is just a man. He's not what he says he is. There's no way he could know the things he says he knows. All this stuff." And so Snyder writes the Joker as if
that's Batman speaking, right?
Yeah, Batman talking to himself, just sort of.
That's genius though, because like Batman is like this unstoppable being that like if you were scared and you wanted to be with somebody, Batman's
you want to be with Batman.
Sure.
He's thought everything through 10 times.
But even
and
so,
he's
in this situation where he's trying to convince himself that the Joker's not the devil.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. And he's this sort of
it's kind of awesome. It's very, very cool writing.
It is, yeah, because like you say, he's this sort of steely-eyed realist. He's not scared of anything, but when this one dude who just happens to dress like a clown comes around, he has to start talking himself down. Yeah. It's fine. It's okay. He's just a person, So
that sounds like me getting ready to walk into a haunted house.
Yeah.
Which, again, this last Halloween, we did not go into any.
Oh, yeah. That's true.
It's a bummer.
That's true.
Yeah.
They're so expensive. It's like $20 or something to go into one up here.
It's true. I've heard there are good ones, though. Mm-hmm. There's a thing, right, where you get clues and you drive
Danger
around.
Run. Yeah,
the Danger Run. I want to do that this year. That would be fun.
Totally.
That would be pretty fun. So we started developing that song, and the lyrics really. I'm still really happy with the lyrics. I think we worked those out really well. They fit really nicely and all that stuff. So where do we go from there? After we sort of got everything fitting together.
Was it from there that we just kind of took it to the kind of the jam room and just kind of felt out some of the arrangement of the tune?
Yeah, I think originally the song was quite a bit faster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a little bit more of that, that jet kind of drive.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
and I think part of that was based off of that original riff you were talking about before, because we used to play that quicker.
Yeah.
But then whenever we sat down with Chris again, something about Chris's playing, normally drummers tend to speed up by the end of a song. Well, Chris tends to pull back on the beat and just really, it's more of a solid kind of just a comfortable sit on that beat. And we were rehearsing it and we were playing it really slow because we were trying to kind of figure out the parts.
Right.
And the more I thought about it, I'm like, that's it. It needs to just
kind of drag a bit. Yeah.
Just that.
Yeah.
Almost just sloppy, kind of dirty.
Yeah.
Rock and roll.
We listen to a lot of records and artists who have that kind of feel, which is nice.
And there were a few times in the chorus where your kick drum even hits a little late.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, oh, dude, keep it.
Yeah.
Don't fix it.
Well, and I remember recording, I think we even talked about this, like I was trying to play as if I were a little drunk or a little tired, like very lethargic, like energy, but just sitting back on the beat.
Yeah.
So, but yeah.
So yeah, and after that, I mean, the song came together pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Now that was one of the first songs that we tried. We laid down a scratch track, and then we tried recording a scratch vocal along with the drums. So Chris was in the drum room across the hallway, and there's a window between the two rooms so we could see each other. And then I'd set up with an SM7, like just a dynamic, vocal mic, like. The Michael Jackson Thriller mic, essentially. It's the one I'm talking into right now. But I'd set up to where we could see each other. We'd start the click track, and he would play to the scratch guitar, and I would sing so he could kind of remember where he was and stuff.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, we ended up using those vocals on the track.
Which is pretty cool.
Which was very cool.
Yeah.
Because I usually get a little anxious about singing vocal parts. I feel like there's a lot of a weight behind it. Like if you don't get it right, then like no one's gonna think you can sing. You've been tricking people all this time, and they're finally gonna find you out. But in that situation, it's just like, oh, I'm just singing while my buddy plays the drums.
It is funny too, because like when you're recording vocals, when you're recording things separately, right? You're recording vocals in the studio. There can be some sort of like pressure, or it's the vocals in some. I mean, it's kind of obvious because it's your voice, but the vocals represent you in a way that playing guitar does not represent
Absolutely.
you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
If you mess up on guitar, or I guess on drums, I don't play drums, but that's my guess. It's like, I missed that. Whatever.
Yeah,
it's not a
right.
big deal.
Yeah.
But if you miss it on vocals, it's like you didn't do that. Like,
Right.
you missed that.
Yeah,
It's
and
true.
there's also another and it kind of goes back to that thing we talked about in the first episode where when picking the right name, like you have to pick the right one because that's your identity.
Sure.
Well, when you're singing in the vocal booth, the voice on the song is the DNA on that song.
Sure. Yeah.
You could take a U2 song and have someone else sing on it. You'd say that kind of sounds like U2.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But Bono's voice
of course.
makes the band U2, right?
Yeah, sure.
And for me as a singer, if I don't feel like I've kind of found that thing that is my voice, I feel like I'm hurting the song. I'm not making it something unique.
Yeah.
And the hardest thing about that, like it's hard to let loose in the studio.
Yeah.
Because it's very sterile of an environment sometimes.
Yep.
And I've learned how to sing the way I like to sing, for example, in the car or if I'm playing acoustic guitar or something. But as soon as you put the headphones on, you hear your voice in the headphones and you can't really rate or feel the level of your throat and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So what I do now, I take one ear off of my headphones and I turn my headphones down just so I can make out the beat and the tune.
Yeah.
And then I'll sing as if I'm singing just by myself.
Oh, that's interesting.
And I can hear my voice in context to the room, and that's how I can gauge, where I am.
See, that's really interesting because when I cut vocals and I'm listening to a track, obviously on headphones or whatever, I prefer to like make it loud and make it in both ears so that I feel like I can just get lost in the noise a little bit. You know what I mean?
Fully engulf yourself.
Yeah.
And I just like it completely exposed.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
That is
They're
interesting.
Completely different.
Yeah. Because
takes.
I feel like I will sing the best when I'm almost not hearing my own voice. Right.
Okay.
So it makes it feel a little bit, and that's an interesting thing about this band in general is that we're not playing out much, and so we didn't have, like with this song Monster, we didn't have a couple of weeks of shows to work it out on stage and all this kind of stuff. Try it out live, see how it goes, this kind of thing. I mean, we're primarily studio based, and so we would play it together and it sounded good, but it goes pretty quickly from that into the recording phase,
Right.
Yeah.
without going through that sort of live phase. So it's cool. It's always cool when we can do something. And we'll talk about this more when we talk about Older Brother, but do something like you did with the vocals that gives it that live flavor, even in the studio. Do you know what I mean? So
Yeah, absolutely.
so that's cool. It's cool that you got to use those. They worked and they sound awesome.
I honestly had to convince myself that they were good enough.
Yeah, I remember that.
And that's such a hard call to make, especially for us because we play, the actual instrumentalists as well as the engineers and the producers. So at the end of the day, it's up to us whether or not it's good enough or not. Whereas normally you would have some guy saying, "Yep, that's the take," or "No, sing it again,"
right?
That kind of thing.
Yeah,
but yeah,
that's true. I think I was in here with you. I mean, the background vocals on that song, there's a pre-chorus. It goes, it is rising in the dark. I was working that out after we had recorded it. I was sitting at the keyboard at the console with a mic right next to me, and I was figuring that out. And I was like, "Will, dig something out of your book for this melody," and you would start tossing me lines, and we'd kind of tweak them.
Yeah.
And then we were like, okay, I think it's done. And I remember I kept saying, so like, be honest about those vocals.
Yeah.
Is it good? Because does it work? Because my thought was, if I don't have to record it again, that's awesome. I'm done
for sure. Yeah.
Because I'll stress about it till it's done because it's this thing. it's this thing up in the ether that's just like complete potential. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And until it's done, it's always potentially something good. You know, it doesn't exist yet.
Right.
Yeah, for sure. And it's cool that, I mean, another reason that it's cool is that you got to use those vocals, that those vocals were good enough is that, you know, you didn't have to feel that pressure of doing it. You were comfortable when you were singing it, you know, because in some, you probably didn't think it counted. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
And
I'll do this. I'll do this later.
Yeah, that's exactly how I
it was
thought.
good enough. Yeah, it works.
And I think there's something to that, and something to the fact that, you know, we're all pretty comfortable musicians. None of us are extraordinary by any means.
Well, speak for yourself. But
Right.
Anyway.
I mean, you know, we know our way around our instruments and other instruments, and we can make sounds with them, and we can make good sounds with them. But this whole project has been this don't overthink it project.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And it's been so freeing. And it's just interesting to see people kind of like come in, listen to it, and react to it. And just knowing from our point, like, we're not worried so much about a specific sound, although that sound comes out in our writing.
Yeah.
We're not worried about the sound. We're not worried about the perfect takes. We're not worried about the perfect marketing or anything like that. The stuff that we, toward the end of our touring career, were completely worried about, because we had people with money in their hands saying, you have to be worried about this.
Yeah.
But now we don't, you know, pay for recording, mixing, or mastering, because we do it ourselves.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that brings a sort of creative freedom.
Of course,
right? That brings a space where you can go, well, you're free to make mistakes, essentially.
Right.
You're free to do that because nothing's riding on it other than your artistic vision and your artistic potential.
Of course. Yeah.
Which is really cool.
Yeah.
But it's also cool, too, that we're all, the four of us are comfortable enough with each other to say, to just honestly tell each other, that works, that's good enough. Not only is that good enough, that's awesome, or let's do it again.
Yeah,
take
for sure.
it again. I mean, there have been other, I think of the first song we released, we'll talk about this on another podcast, but The Masquerade, I probably did 4 different versions of vocals on that.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until I came into the studio one night by myself where I could just turn the volume way down and just let loose in the room by myself, no pressure, that I've, landed on the takes we used.
Yeah. It's sort of like when you're, I mean, I have no experience with this because I'm not an athlete, but from what I hear about being an athlete, you don't want to, and you can speak to this because you play tennis, you don't want to think about what...
basketball too.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
basketball and tennis.
Star, so.
Yeah. Superstar. Anyway, but you don't want to think about what your body's doing. You don't want to think about what your body's doing.
Right. Yeah.
Right. You just want to do it.
Of course.
And it's sort of the same thing with, being comfortable doing vocals, right? You don't want to think about what your voice is doing. You want to be in the song.
Yeah.
You want to be expressing yourself.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's, maybe other people who are involved with sports would argue, but I feel like that's even more important with something like singing a song, something where you're trying to connect with an emotion or a feeling or get other people to connect with what you're saying or feeling. I think that's, kind of imperative for effectiveness.
Yeah, definitely. So after all that got laid down, we laid down the drums, Vince tracked the bass, we tracked the guitars, you had those vocals ready to go. We got it pretty much ready. And then once the song was done, we moved into the video phase of it, right? So one of y'all want to talk about that a little bit?
I'll go ahead and say the idea was mine.
Okay. Okay. I mean, you can say anything.
Don't be humble.
Honestly, was it my idea? Whose idea was it?
I really don't remember.
I just said that to be a jerk.
We went through a couple ideas. So there was one idea that it was always the idea of a live video. I don't remember who came up with it, but it was the idea of we're going to be playing in the video.
Well, I think we just decided that the first 2 videos we did weren't really that. Yeah. The older brother kind of was that, but it was very
minimal,
all minimal, all close-ups.
Yeah.
None of us played together at the same time.
Yeah.
But we wanted to do a traditional music video. Just because we hadn't done one yet. The Masquerade was a lyric video.
Yeah.
And I don't remember. I remember thinking we need to. I think I saw the Vines video.
Yeah. What was that called?
Give Me Love.
Give Me Love. Yeah.
And they had a lot of animations and stuff over the visual. And that was my original idea, was to do some kind of text animations and some kind of scary drawing animations.
Yeah.
But the more I thought about it, I'm like, that's going to be a lot of hard work.
Sure, yeah.
So let's get our hands on a projector and project some cool images.
Yeah.
And it just so happened that the projector we were using wasn't that strong. So we decided to do very minimal projections and just do the rest of it just like a typical performance video. We added like some thick film grain and stuff like that later to kind of match the look of those old movies a little bit.
Give it that 70s horror movie vibe.
But we went and we found some clips that were just kind of traditional classic horror movies. And projected those on the screen, and that was that.
Put our shadows, played in front of them to where their shadows were in the shots a little bit.
And then it was probably all together, when I had time, maybe like a 3-day edit. Something like that, 3 work days, just trying to get it all right. And then it's as easy as just posting it to YouTube.
Absolutely. Right. And we had a nice response. So, thank you guys who watched it. And if you haven't watched it yet, you should watch it. But we had a nice response. We had a good little bump in who saw our stuff when that video came out. So, I think more than the previous 2 even. So, So I mean, I'm very happy with the video. Granted, I put in less work than you guys did, but
I didn't do a whole.
I mean, and at the same time, like around the Savvy days, when we would post the video, we would do a lot of groundwork. Like I would go in personally and start posting it on people's walls.
Oh, sure,
and starting up conversations with those people, just trying to really push this video out there. But with this one and the ones we've done so far with Villain District, like, I don't want it to feel invasive. Like, I want, if someone kind of knows us, they listen to it, or if someone stumbles upon it and they like it, that's great.
Yeah, for
but
sure.
I don't want it to feel, I guess invasive is the word, or stressful, or I just want it to be a fun thing that we do, that if you're into it, you're into it. If you're not, you're not. That's fine.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It just feels nice and laid back, and it's fun.
So even in terms of promotional, posts on from our Facebook, right? We were very sort of minimalist with that too. Yeah. I mean, we planned to have these 4 songs that come out that are sort of thematic in a shared way, called Monstrosity, and this was the 3rd of those. And so even in posting to quote unquote promote this video, we were just like, it's coming up.
Yeah,
Like, look for it. It's coming up. Here's a weird quote to go with it. You know? So that was really cool. And
and the idea behind that Facebook and the quotes and the pictures and all that stuff is really just tickling ourselves and having fun with it, and trying to make this thing, whatever Villain District is, feel interesting and fun, and not so much like band dude stuff.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Making this sort of creative. It's a creative endeavor more than just, hey, check out our song.
Right,
everybody,
exactly.
But I think what that lacks, though, is that kind of connection.
Sure,
that kind of warmth,
yeah.
and I think that's what's interesting about starting this podcast, is like you kind of get both things, both aspects of it.
Yeah.
Where we just tell you that we're just being dumb when we post those those funny things, and I think the people who know us are like, "Oh, you guys,"
or we're being geniuses.
Sometimes my mom will write me a Facebook message and say, "What does that mean?"
Oh, really? Nice.
Why is that scary picture on your face? What is that? I said, "Mom, it's Will."
I did it.
Will's being bad.
I did. I am proud of. I found this sweet quote from Dante's Inferno, where Dante is approaching Satan, frozen into the ground from the waist up, and he sees him in the distance through the fog, and he thinks he's a windmill. And I found this sweet quote. I was like, that's going on the Villain District thing. That's so good. So I was happy with that one.
Well, I'm happy with it.
Yeah.
I'm very happy.
I'm very happy.
I do want to say on this episode that that was part 3. Monster was part 3, and part 4 is coming up.
Yeah.
Right. The last part of Monstrosity is coming up, which is called Choke Out the Sun.
Choke Out the Sun.
Yeah.
Yep.
Choke Out the Sun is coming up.
So that'll be the 4th part of that, and we've actually already have 2.5 songs recorded for the next batch of songs. So we haven't been releasing stuff, but we have been hard at work when we can, and making new stuff for you guys.
Yeah. So
Keep
on the lookout for that stuff for sure.
For sure.
Well, this has been fun. This has been a fun.
It's been a great time.
What's something stupid to say?
I don't know, but I can say hashtag Christian dads who vape again, because that's great. And I did make a grumpy in my diaper. Frowny face.
All right, guys.
Yeah.
I guess that's it for today. Will did make a grumpy in his diaper.
I did.
So
That's too bad.
Yeah.
we've had enough.
Somebody's got to deal with it. So
Someone does.
you done good, Joe.
You done good, Chris.
You done good, Dub.
All right. We'll see y'all next
See
time.
y'all.
Peace out.
I made a grumpy in my diaper.